Caffeine Coils, and I'm Deanna.
And I'm Jenny. All right, what is our hot topic for today?
Okay, I can't believe that I'm actually presenting this, but we're talking about sales tactics.
Okay.
I always joke, I have a couple friends that are in sales, and I always joke, like, I could never do sales because I'm just so, nonchalant.
Introverted?
Yeah, introverted, and if someone says no, I'm like, okay, that's fine. But, I got some advice from both people in the industry and outside of the industry, and I've put together a little something for everybody I think everybody could learn something from this, even, veteran techs. I think that's one thing that maybe you don't think about so much when you are becoming a technician is how sales heavy it can possibly be. And this will kind of give them a little bit of a foundation for doing that. So one thing that I think is important is to kind of reframe it. So you're not really trying to be like a salesman, like a car salesman or something, you're not trying to sell people just anything. You're trying to give them a solution. So think about it more as being a problem solver and selling a solution instead of just trying to, close a sale or increase the ticket or whatever. So just make sure that before you make a recommendation that you're suggesting it because it solves a real problem for the customer and not just because you're trying to add on to your ticket.
I think that's such a good way to frame it too, because not only are you solving the problem, as long as there's a genuine need for that new unit, then you're gonna get trust with the customer. And we talk about how important it is to build trust with your customers.
Right. And I also, as a consumer and as someone who, has had, people in my house giving me quotes for things, I don't want to feel like you're just trying to upsell me.
Yeah.
I want to know why I need X, Y, and Z. How is it going to improve my life or help solve a problem that I have? And those are the types of questions that you have to ask. You can ask them like, do you have a specific room in your house that is hot all the time or cold all the time, or do you have problems like that? So you can sort of guide them to making the right decisions. And we've talked about this with the customer service episode and probably other times, but one thing that everyone that I talk to that does sales is they say that relationships are the most important thing. So building relationships. And there's this acronym, FORM, form, and that's, I think, a Zig Ziglar thing.
I don't know this one.
Family, occupation, recreation, and message or motivation. So these are categories of things you can ask a customer to get to know them better. Ask them things about their family, what they do for work. If you see that they have a motorcycle, ask them about, oh, I see you have a motorcycle. What's that like? I've always wanted to, learn how to ride one myself. What do you recommend? And that's another thing is not only getting them to trust you, but you want to ask them questions to make them understand that you trust them as well,
Okay, that is, I don't know how I've never heard that acronym. That's such a good, an easy thing to remember and such a good, you're hitting on all those big topics in their life that are important to them, usually.
Right. And then for, motivation, what is their motivation for calling you to their house? Is it that they have a problem with their unit or that they're looking to upgrade? Or, ask them other questions, like I said earlier, do you have certain rooms in your house that are warmer than others? To try to get a better idea of what their needs might be. That one thing that I like the most myself as a consumer is more so the recreation type questions, or if someone comes in my house and they see my cat trees or cat toys and stuff and they start asking me questions about my cats, I love that so much more than them trying to ask me what I do for work or do I have any kids. That stuff's a little too basic, but I like talking about recreation because those are my interests.
Yeah.
So I think those are good things to kind of hang on to. And people buy from people that they like. and that like you. So it has to be like a reciprocal thing where you sort of form this bond over something. You can find something about them or their house or where they live to talk to them about and connect with them on to make them like you, and then also show them that you like them.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Honesty and trust. We've talked about that a lot on the podcast, but you need to notify them if it's taking you longer than expected because you need to go get a certain supply. Or I've had people come to my house before and service my house and leave, and they weren't done yet, and then be gone for hours and not tell me what was going on. I'd rather you let me know, like, hey, I have to come back in a couple hours because I have to run and go get this certain thing, or there's an emergency or something. There's, like, let me know what's going on. Don't just leave.
And I think there's so much more that goes into that. Like, even from a sales perspective, from, like, distributor side, it's all about, like, communication and honesty. I think that goes so much further than people really understand sometimes. And it's the same as if you're a technician in a customer's home. Communication, honesty, just, like, communicate and let them know what's going on.
Yeah. Also being upfront about what you find, and, you have data. You can get readings, and you can take pictures and show them the condition of certain parts and why this might need to be replaced. You can back up what you're saying with data that they can actually see instead of just trust me, you need this new part. You actually back it up, and that'll make people trust you more too. You should also ask questions and make statements that conjure positive thoughts and excitement. So, instead of saying something like, you're going to need a whole new system, and, that sounds like so negative, you can say, you do need a new system, but once you get the new system in, you're going to notice such a decrease in your power bill because it's going to be so much more efficient. Or, if we upgrade you to this, other system, we can also make sure we're decreasing the humidity in your home in the summer, and that'll be nice because you won't have to turn your air down as far. Those types of things. You can talk it up as a positive thing instead of like, oh man, I have bad news. You need a whole new system,
Yeah.
Also, you need confidence. So be an expert, and if you have to tell people that they're wrong about something, so there's some homeowners, I'm sure, that saw something on the internet, or, something they think that they're the expert. Oh, I don't really need a new this or that, you just need to, or they'll have like an experience like, well, this happened to my neighbor and blah, blah, blah. But, just have confidence and back up what you're saying, like I said, with some of the data that you're collecting, and tell them about prior experiences. Like, that might have happened to your neighbor, but, in my experience as a technician for X amount of time, this is the new part that you need, or this is the way we need to go with it. I also asked about if you're an introvert like me.
That's a good question.
And people were telling me that sales is a skill, and it it's something that you have to work on. It's something that you can put aside, like, just compartmentalize work. Like, this is work, this is my job, and this is what I have to do. I can be an introvert outside of work, but with this, I need to actually, be a little bit more on point. And you can replay situations that already happened, or think about what a customer might respond with and how you would respond to that. Sort of play it in your mind, and sort of have in your back pocket a few responses ready to go for whatever situation they might.
I think too, like, as someone who is an introvert in a sales role, the more you do it, like, the more comfortable you'll get with it, and the easier it'll become. And knowing your stuff is going to give you the confidence you need to talk to someone about it too.
Yeah. And for new people, I mean, unfortunately, that's just going to come with time.
Yeah.
But it can be done. Now, I have a little bit of an anecdote because I was thinking about rebuttals and pricing. And I used to work at Victoria's Secret call center. And when a customer called, it would come up on the screen, and it would say if they were pre-qualified for the Victoria's Secret credit card, and you had to offer it to them.
Okay.
If they said no, you're supposed to rebuttal twice. Like, okay, but I understand that, but, blah, blah, try to give them a benefit or whatever. Well, as you know, these calls are monitored and recorded. I would have my supervisor, like everybody would have a supervisor sit with them sometimes to monitor your call and like coach you or whatever. So with my luck, I get a pre-qualified person on the call, and I offered them the credit card, and they said no, and I moved on.
Oh, no.
Afterwards, he was like, okay, that was really good, but you're supposed to rebuttal, when they say no. And I said, I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And he's like, he just started laughing. He's like, why not? And I'm like, because I don't want to. If they said no, I don't want to make them mad. Not because of that, but I didn't work there for very long. I just didn't,
You weren't thriving there.
I wasn't thriving. No, it was not fun. But yeah, that can be difficult to try to convince someone. Like if they say no, one of the things that I liked about the advice on rebuttals was don't just try to push it on them. Say something like, are you sure you want me to just leave it like this?
Yeah. Are you sure you want to spend another night that's hot
right.
in the summer?
Sure you want to, just kind of cast doubt on their quote-unquote wrong decision.
Mm-hmm.
Cast doubt instead of trying to push.
Yeah.
Just, are you sure you want to do that? It could cost you more in the future, or if I don't do this now, you're going to get charged X amount for another, call out here. And, just that type of thing is better than just trying to push. Because, nobody likes being pushy. That was why I didn't want to offer the credit card.
I feel like the stance on that has actually changed because I think usually when people turn you down the first time, they don't try anymore. Yeah. Which I'm thankful for because I remember being like, no. And then I felt like I was being kind of mean.
Yeah. You also want to pivot to meet people's needs. So you can kind of go in with an idea of what the person might need or their situation, but the more you learn about them, you might learn that they're more budget conscious, and you might want to lead with more financing options or what the long-term savings would be on maybe getting a new unit. Or if they're convenience focused, you can lead with how fast you can get it done or the warranty coverage on something. Like, okay, if you go ahead and replace this today, you get a 10-year warranty, that type of thing. And you can also see if they're safety driven. So is there some type of risk that could happen if they don't, replace something? You can lead with that information if that's something that you kind of glean from them. And you have to be a little bit of a people reader, which I think kind of comes with time too. And you're not trying to be dishonest, but again, you're trying to solve a problem for your customer and meet their needs. You're not necessarily just trying to get more money. You're trying to make sure that they get the best service possible. And so I did mention this a little bit a second ago, but financing, sometimes people can't afford a huge cost up front. I think when I was doing research for the marketing guide, there was 80% of people say that they wouldn't be able to, do a big purchase over $4,000 out of their savings, something like that. But it's a lot less to chew whenever you tell them, we can finance this. There's a lot of 0% offers a lot of the time on first purchases. So you can talk to them about their financing options, because it turns something that may be a $7,000 job into smaller increments that they can see themselves being able to pay more comfortably. You can also think ahead of objections before they surface, and don't wait for them to say, oh, I don't want to do that, that's too expensive, or I'm going to get another quote. You can just go ahead and tell them we may not be the cheapest quote that you get, but we've been in business for 15 years. we've serviced X amount of customers in the area. You know, give them some feedback ahead of time before they have a chance to try to shut you down with one of those types of responses. And this is another one that I really like, and has definitely been used on me. 3 different options. So like you've got your value option, your medium option, and your premium option. So that way they're not thinking ahead of, because we always as consumers think we have so many options. I'm going to call ABC company and then XYZ company and compare. But if you give them options within your business, you're giving them something to choose from with you, not just with other people.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it makes them feel like I have choices and they're already being presented to me, rather than like I need to gather more information, or I need to.
And to go, like, to touch a little bit further on that, there's a lot of different softwares out there. And I know the business development group utilizes one of those softwares and trains technicians on how to give that good, better, best option to customers. Like, the technician has everything they need right there on the iPad to do the good, better, best options and make it easy. And I know that is a great tool to take advantage of.
And I think that, I mean, it gives you as a consumer, it just gives you the feeling that, okay, you know, maybe I wasn't planning on spending X amount of dollars today, but this is the best option. It just gives you more information to weigh rather than, you know, making you sort of like make a yes or no decision. It's kind of like, okay, which one am I going to go with instead of yes or no? And I also saw some people saying that they'll have other, and I don't know how they get this information, but they'll have other competitors' quotes. Like, okay, you want to get a quote from someone else? Well, I actually have a quote from
I don't know
this
if we're
other
supposed to
company
be doing that, but I'm sure it's happening.
Hey, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Okay? I don't know if I, personally, to be honest, I don't know if I would trust.
Yeah, I don't know if I could trust
I'm
that
like,
either.
I would be like, why do you have that information? Oh, really? This other company is that much more expensive or something, you know? I'm like, okay. Also, your presentation and your appearance are very important.
We do talk a lot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to be, I mean, you don't have to come in a 3-piece suit.
Yeah.
Know, but you want to have your shirt tucked in and make sure your clothes fit properly and
you took a bath.
Yeah. Cleaned up a little bit. Knock the cobwebs out of your hair before you knock on the door. Like you've said before, don't leave your leaky oiled truck in the driveway.
And maybe like just wash it once a month, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a good, like, just, you know, spray it off a little bit.
Yeah. Spray it off. And being prepared, you know, nothing kills confidence like having to take multiple trips back to your truck, or saying you don't know, or having to, you know, get more information. You know, you want to be as prepared as possible. There's always going to be situations where maybe a customer asks something you weren't prepared for, and that's okay to let them know that you need to get the information or get the answer for them. But
and maybe you don't know what's wrong with the unit and you're waiting on a call back from, you know, tech services or whatever. And then you just, you know, explain to them, like, I'm waiting on a call back. I'm double checking a couple things. And as soon as I know the answer, I'll let you know.
Yeah. And then, of course, this kind of, you know, plays into my expertise. But make your quotes look memorable and professional. Make sure they have your logo on it and color, your slogan, contact information, you know, just getting a quote verbally, not giving them something to refer back to. I mean, you really want to try to close the sale or close the deal while you're there, but you want to also give them information that makes you look like, oh, this person is professional and they're knowledgeable. If you have pamphlets or, you know, whatever you can give about certain products that you're giving them options for, then that would be also good to leave with them. And, you know, make sure that it looks professional too. Don't just give them like a piece of paper or like a handwritten note on a napkin or something. You want to make it professional. And then there's a lot of easy tools out there for people to use these days, not AI generated. I think that personally like makes you look a little bit more like makes you look less professional, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There's other tools out there and other ways that you can, I mean, I'm not saying everybody has to pay. I would love for everybody to pay a graphic designer, but not everybody has that type of resource. But there are ways that you can make something look professional. There's templates and things like that you can use.
Agreed on that.
So I guess in closing, I would say, you don't have to be like a slick talker to be a good salesperson. You just need to have confidence, have the tools with you, like knowledge and your, quote thing ready to go, your quote with your logos on it. Just be prepared. And
you know what? If you are an introvert, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Do the hard things. Be uncomfortable for a little while until you get the hang of it. And then you don't have to, you won't be so far outside of your comfort zone. And you'll grow in your career.
Yep.
That's my advice.
That's my my sales pitch for the day.
All right. I have a cool ender this morning.
Okay, I'm excited.
So it is a kind of a play on Letterboxd, which we played quite a few episodes ago. I don't know if you remember it.
Is that the movie thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this one has 3 clues. 3 clues for one movie.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a few of these. I'll just start first. Theme park idea that aged horribly. Science was like, we can, not we should. Lawyer gets absolutely wrecked. This one's kind of hard.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
No, but you're not that far off. Tell me when you want me to
Jurassic Park.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, you got it. I'm so proud. Okay, 2. Man talks to a volleyball for emotional support. Worst vacation ever. FedEx, but make it traumatic.
Castaway.
Yes, that was an easy one. Rich people problems, but on a boat. Guy definitely could have shared. Everyone knew how this ended.
Jaws.
No.
What is it?
Titanic.
Oh. Dang, yeah.
All right, I only have 3 more. Man relives the same day and slowly loses his mind. Weather forecast becomes a curse. Self-improvement or insanity?
Groundhog Day?
Yes. You're good at this. That's one of my favorite filmers.
By the way, I've barely seen any of these.
Oh my gosh.
I just know of them from like pop culture.
Okay. Wow.
I saw Castaway
impressive.
for sure. I don't think I saw Jurassic Park.
Have you seen Groundhog Day?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
pieces and parts of it.
All right. Kid sees dead people and honestly handles it pretty well. Plot twist punches you in the face. Therapist probably should have known.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah. The first one gives that one away.
Yeah.
All right. Guy gets kid gets left home and chooses violence. Burglars pick the wrong house. Christmas, but tactical.
Home Alone.
Yeah. That was my last one.
Okay.
I think
Those are good.
Those are fun. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
All right, that's all we have for today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Oh, wait, we forgot to talk about our...
Shoot. Okay.
What did you forget?
We were going to talk about how
We're going to let people
change the
know that we're
format.
changing our format.
Okay, well,
After we finish the game, then I'll say...
or who was the last one to go before you started the game?
We want to do it probably after the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I said Christmas, but tactical, and you said Home Alone.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay, so let's just go from there and say...
Okay. So we have some Caffeine Coils news.
Yes, we have some fun, exciting updates.
We're going to be changing our format a little bit. So if you are used to our every other week schedule, we're going to be changing things up a little bit. Since everyone's so busy in the summer and winter months, we're going to be switching to a schedule where we are doing seasons, like a spring season and a fall season. They'll still be every other week during that time period, but
And this will give us like a good opportunity to learn more about like, I know there's always constantly industry changes happening and things updating, and this will like give us time to get like more of a grasp on it.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's still a lot of things up in the air about some of the regulation changes and refrigerant stuff going on right now. So it'll give time for that to settle and have topics to talk about for that. And we'll get to have some more guests on with us. So I think this is going to be a good change up. So you guys, as we'll still have episodes every other week through the season, but the seasons will take place in the spring and the fall.
Right. And so we'll be starting this fall. So you won't hear from us this summer, but all our old episodes will still be up. I know you guys are going to miss us, but
maybe we'll pop on and have an episode here and there, but
maybe.
we'll be transitioning to the spring and fall format starting in the fall.
All right. Is that all we have?
That's all we have for today.
Okay. That's all we have for today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.